Well, here I am at West Angle Bay. Because I couldn't get past Castle Martin, to be totally exact, I couldn't get past or get to St Govan's Head. What I've done is parked here. I could only park for the day. So without my tent, and I have to be honest about this, I'm not wild camping, I'm going to walk round to Freshwater West and then come to the edge of the range and then walk back. And then I'll park somewhere else tomorrow and try and do this section going towards Milford Haven and Pembroke, etc. Not the most interesting section, but this section is quite interesting. The thing is, I can't get to the bits I really want to get to. Unfortunately, it's because of the army, because they were going to train in Canada. Because of COVID, they can't train in Canada. So they decided to do everything in Castle Martin Range, which obviously has made the access more restricted than it normally is. Anyway, let's get going and I'll show you more along the way. This is Milford Haven. I'll pan around a bit. It's one of the deepest ports in the world. Very deep water, but it's got a lot of hazards, so you need a pilot on board to take you into Milford Haven. There's the big oil refinery there. You can probably see the tanks on one side of the river. You can't see the refinery itself. And it's also where the ferry goes to Ireland from as well. So it's quite an important port, really. That island there is called Sheep Island. Well, this is where my journey ends, at Freshwater West, lovely beach. I'm going to reverse this walk I've just done back to the car. The reason I did it, as I said, is I couldn't get through the range the other day. So what I've done today is driven to West Angle and reversed what I was going to walk. So I can't go any farther than the end of that beach anyway, because they've got extra restrictions in because they haven't left the country to go to Canada like they normally do. That's the army I'm talking about. They're normally off to Canada in the autumn to practice with their tanks, etc. But this time, because of COVID, they're practicing over there. They've been making a lot of noise today as well. And yeah, so I couldn't go any further today than the end of that beach anyway. So I'm going to make my way back. I'm not going to film it, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Well, here I am at West Angle Bay. Where did I sleep last night? In my car. Because if you do this type of thing with your car, the logistics gets quite awkward. You've got to find places to park overnight, and not every car park allows overnight parking. Some people ignore it. Sometimes I ignore it. But anyway, today I'm going to make my way from West Angle to Pembroke, and this is going to give me views of the oil refineries, etc, etc. So it's kind of industrial in some ways, but it's still in the countryside. It's just the views will be of the oil refinery and the holding tanks, etc. So when I get to Pembroke, which is a nice town, I'll show you more. I'll show you quite a lot along the way as well, but basically I've got about 15 miles to cover in quite a short time because I have to catch a bus back to West Angle. That is Thorn Island, guessing it's Napoleonic. That is Chapel Bay Fort, guessing Napoleonic again, could be wrong, could be late Victorian, I've no idea. bizarre to think that fossil fuels like crude oil come from dead marine organisms. I can hear the oil refinery going. I can also hear boats offloading their crude oil. But I'm in a beautiful woodland path here next to the haven. So don't think this section is boring. Yes, you see the oil refinery and the tanks and the boats, etc. But it's still a really nice woodland walk mainly. I'm coming into Pembroke, where I'm going to end my journey for today and get a bus back to West Angle. Well, this is where I stopped for the day. This is Pembroke Castle, beautiful little town, Pembroke. And then I've got to wait an hour for a bus to go back to West Angle Bay. See you later. When I left Broadhaven the other day, I came across this. This is the outer edge of Castle Martin Range, the western edge. I couldn't go any further. So I went and camped on the dunes. Now it's been opened because the army have gone away completely for a couple of months. I can walk this section. I'm going to walk it to Stat Rock. So it's only about 12 kilometres there and back because I have to piggyback on myself. What I've noticed about this walk, because I didn't do any planning, is the public transport is pretty bad serving the coastal path. It's only Thursdays and Saturdays. Plus, there's not many towns en route for food, etc., etc. So you kind of, in my situation, have to use your car to go and get food and find places to camp overnight, which I've been doing. I've been sleeping in my car as well and sleeping near to my car. So it's not exactly been wild camping, but I'm determined to do at least this first section of the walk right up to Pembroke, which I've kind of done now. I just need to do this section now. And I can say I've walked from Amroth to Pembroke. And obviously there's a lot more to go on top of that. But I've always wanted to do this section, I've done it now. So anyway, just bear in mind, if you come to do this Pembrokeshire Coastal Path in one haul, you're going to have to think about logistics very carefully. How are you going to do it? Campsites? Are you going to hide food en route or whatever? Because it's not well served by towns either, outside of Pembroke and Milford Haven and places like that. You know, going back that way, it's really, I suppose, Lampfey was one of the towns just nearby, which I had to walk to, which is a round walk of about 8 miles. So please bear in mind, if you do this walk, the logistics of it will be very difficult if you haven't got a solid plan like me. Anyway, let's show you the beautiful scenery around here because it is absolutely beautiful. Down here is St. Govan's Chapel, which is a 13th century chapel for fishermen. It's been restored a bit, but it's a lovely little place. I'll take you down there now. A little pan around. It's not exactly big. Little hole up there. There's the ceiling. But it's got a certain amount of charm. I don't know what's up these steps here. Oh, it's like a Another little area. Oh yeah. That's the view down to the shoreline there. That's actually St Govan's Head there. The chapel is not at the head. It's about half a mile north actually, I suppose. Apparently this is called Huntsman's Leap because a huntsman was being chased by his creditors and managed to jump across the chasm, and he died of fright when he landed on the other side. Obviously that's myth, but that's why it's called Huntsman's Leap. That's a seal down there, and hopefully you heard that noise. Hopefully they're all right as well. Every time you turn a corner, there's another view. Absolutely beautiful. I've had some pretty rough days on this trip, rain-wise, got really wet, but look at this. Normally you can't come here except on a Saturday and Sunday, and even recently, because the army are not training abroad, they're training here, you couldn't come here at all for about a month and a half, but now I've got this place to myself. It's fantastic. It's probably one of the most beautiful places I've seen, coastal-wise, anywhere in the world. Every time I turn the corner, there's a new view, a new vista, and there's hardly any wind and the sun's out, and it's October the 11th. So there you go. Who needs to go abroad? Now this is some blowhole. I'm going to try and get a better look at it. Now that's one nice beach. How's that for a sea arch? It's a shame about those cameras the army have got on top of that cliff there, but I suppose it's for security, but it really ruins a view. Couldn't they put them somewhere else? Anyway, a little bit of a pano. This scenery is just out of this world. It's so beautiful around here. Well, I've nearly come to the end of this bit of coast because beyond the road in a minute, that's it. You can't go any further. That's the other part of the range, which is never open to the public, except on very rare occasions. These are the famous stack rocks, or I think it's Elligug rocks. I can't pronounce it, it is Welsh, but most people call them the stack rocks. That's known colloquially as the Green Bridge of Wales. It does have a Welsh name, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to make a fool of myself. I can't go any further now. This is the end. I'm coming to the restricted part of the range, which is never open to the public. That wasn't a long walk, but by God, it was enjoyable. The best coastline I've seen anywhere. Absolutely beautiful. The weather's been fantastic. Now, I've actually done from Amroth to Pembroke, except for a tiny bit of road, which I'm not going to walk today, which I'm never going to walk as a matter of fact, because it's only road, because the range pushes you onto it. Now, I'm at the eastern, I think the edge of the eastern side of the range. The western side of the range, as I said, is not accessible to the public ever, except for special guided tours. So anyway, I'm going to make my way back to my car. I'm not carrying my tent, and I'm basically going to get somewhere to kit for the night. It could be in my car, it could be outside my car, I don't know until I get there. See you later.